Hello everyone, I am D-Mind, the mind of one and all, and welcome back to another episode of Phenomeno. Phenomeno, I think, not Phenomena. Phenomeno! Our 1 year anniversary special, because I don't usually play horror games, and there's a horror visual novel. And we just met Yoishi, and we are trying to look into the details of, in depth into what is happening with us, and the number 4 has been carved into our shoes since the last episode. So yeah, things are looking great. You met Yoishi, who people die soon after meeting, and you have a countdown going on for you. Nice work there, buddy. Okay. Pretty face started appeared to me. Her face comes so close. To be honest, my heart started racing. Why do I have to close my eyes? Just do it. My heart thumping. I did as she said. I closed my eyes tightly. It felt like some inappropriate imagination had drifted in, so I frantically worded that way. Imagine. Her lips seemed to move at the back of my eyes, commanding. You are standing at the entrance of your house. A frosty yet somewhat kind voice forced me to stand before my house. As detailed as you can, imagine yourself standing at the entrance of your house. As if controlled by those words, I imagine myself standing in that house, in the darkness. Black. The sharp image of that mountain cottage. The reddish-brown roof, the mountain cottage, the atelier that an architect had built for himself. The walls were faded in a nice fashion and covered by vines up to the second floor. The white paint had slightly chipped off of the wooden window sills. The first floor walls was a garage. The first floor was all a garage, and the second and third floors were built as living quarters. It had no kitchen, my rented house of 30,000 yen, and at night it began making a strange sound, and the next morning a number would be carved somewhere. My legs began trembling, but I held them down with my hands. Alright, when you've imagined it, place your hand on the doorknob. Alright, now open the door. I opened the door and my shoes were sprawled out on the foyer. When I rushed out of the house, I kicked the leather shoes out of the way, but my feet refused to go further. I felt like someone in the house, even though no one should be in it. Even though no one should be in it, I felt someone in the house. Okay. The thick, sticky hair seemed to make me feel that way. No. I didn't want to step forward, even if this was just my imagination. Seemingly noticing my emotions, Yoishi said, whispering, Don't worry. Slowly move in. Take off your shoes, as usual, and step in. When you step in, I don't care what order, but open every window in your house. Neatly, one by one, without leaving a single one. Window? Why windows? I thought that, but I heeded her and I went by the window in the living room, unlocked it and opened it. I thought that, but I heeded her. I went by the window in the open it. And then from there to the Japanese style room I was using as a bedroom, unlocked and opened the window. Then from the Japanese style room to the bathroom, open. To the bath, open. Then I progressed to the third floor. There were two on the third floor by the veranda and next to my desk. I unlocked and opened both. I'm done. And now close the windows in reverse order. Huh? Close them in order from the last one you opened? Wait, huh? Close them in order from the last one you opened. Having no other choice, I did as she said. The window on the third floor by the desk. The window on the third floor, veranda. Then down to the second floor and the bath, toilet, Japanese style room, living quarters. I closed them all. Yes, done. Now open your eyes. Said Yoshi's voice, and I opened my eyes and the light from the bright fluorescent lamps flooded into my eyes. I had paid no heed to them before, but the bright pop music from within the store also came into my ears. Right, this was a family restaurant. I rubbed my eyes strongly when Yoshi asked me, How is it? What do you mean, how is it? What's the point of this? Was there anyone in the rooms? My hair stood at those words. There was. But you didn't see. That was on the landing on the stairs between the second and third floors. A middle-aged man wearing ashen-colored clothing seemed to have been there. Immobile. With an empty-ish face, he watched over my every action with his staring eyes. I could never look straight at him, but he was always appearing at the edge of my sight. There wasn't there? Yoshi's black eyes dazzled with some sort of happiness. Was it someone you know? I don't know. I've never seen him before. No. Could that be? To imagine someone that I never met before. The house still remained thick. Within my mind, as Yoshi's joyful voice echoed through the image. Scared? No, it left me scared. I looked and Yoishi had come close enough to me that I could feel her breath. Hey, are you feeling scared right now? Scared? Or rather, your eyes that look like they'll eat everything scare me. Tell me more, what kind of person? I took a deep breath and explained as I tried to stop myself from trembling. A grey worn suit. I didn't remember a necktie. The suit seemed a bit big, but that may have been because the man was thinned. He had white hair and I couldn't remember the face. The hair was grown a bit long without any care. He wore black shoes. And Yoishi was rubbing her chin going, After some silence and glancing about at nothing with her eyes, she looked at me once more. Hey, how about we go? What? To your house. Now. Oh boy. Are we gonna trust Yoishi? Why did this happen? It was at night, with a beautiful moon, and I was dangerously pedaling the mama cycle. I passed through the residential area to the north, the train station near the family restaurant, then continued west along the Grove River. The Grove River was called Shimokawa and was one of the rivers that flowed into the Tamagawa waterways. This river gradually curved northeast and headed toward the area islands. Every time my bike bounced off the bumpy roads, Yoishi's body pressed against mine as she sat behind. I could feel the slight inflation of her breast. This game and their breasts on my back through my jersey, and every so often I had misplaced thoughts of how we looked like a nice couple. However, what was hanging onto my back was a cycle girl dressed entirely in black. Her arms wrapped around my waist were oddly cold. Aren't girls supposed to have a higher body temperature? Like soft, warm, and with a nice scent. However, I could hardly feel any heat from Yoishi, who was sitting at the rear of the seat of my bicycle. If it were to turn out that only I could see her, I wouldn't even be surprised. That's how far away from a date this nighttime bicycle rendezvous was. The residential area became distant, and in its stead came fields. The city lights became dim, and it felt like the number of stars increased, and the scent of grass became stronger. We were much closer from home. Quite rural. Shuddered. That was my response to Yoshi's line, after some period of quiet. I don't mean it in a bad way. I didn't realize Musashino still had such a place. That's why I figured the rent would be low. I vented a bit of my feelings of self-depreciation. Oh, we got animations. Houses became very scarce, and after passing by several old temples, we entered an area dense with trees. By following this narrow path, we arrive at that house. To be honest, I don't want to go at night when I see that behind me. It only happens at night, so we should go at night. Yoishi readily replied. A very sound argument. For a while we remained wordless until Yoishi asked, what was your wish? Huh? Because you're painstakingly living in the house that grants wishes, aren't you? Painstakingly, or rather, I just had no money. Nothing special. I hope that my family's business would go well, that's all. I answered. Surprisingly, you think of your family. Yoishi commented without giving any trace of emotion. Surprisingly, it's pretty harsh, I began replying, but then we saw that house beyond the Black Forest. That. Yeah. Looking over it again, I was amazed at how I went to such a house. Looking at it now, no matter who looked at it, it looked completely like a haunted house. Yeah, how do you look at it like, oh my god, this is a wonderful, luxurious house before? As I slid the motorcycle into the first floor garage, Yoishi jumped off the rear seat of the bike. When she pressed the switch on the steel column, the light on the ceiling of the garage turned on. That was all it took to reduce my fear. Yoishi began walking about on her own, looking at the building from several angles. A magnificent building, she said, and then she began walking ahead of me. She climbed the stairs to the entrance and on the second floor. Not having any other choice, I placed one foot on the stairs, but could not go no further. As for Yoishi, she quickly climbed the stairs, opened the door without permission, and glanced inside. Alright. Now that I think about it, I flew out without locking the door. That means I left it unlocked for several days, which was very careless of me. Not like anyone would enter unless you're thinking of the supernatural entering, or exiting. I was just looking up from the bottom of the stairs. It was pretty shameful, but I'm the one that experienced the fear. I'd say it's perfectly normal for an animal to not want to get any closer unless safety is ensured. How is it? How is it? Well, of course. And with that, Yoishi quickly went inside. I was afraid of being left at the bottom of the stairs, so I rushed after Yoishi. When I opened the entrance door, the inside was already lit with electricity. Yoishi stood straight next to the lamp, switch glancing around from the ceilings to the walls. Light is great. I felt calm just by it being bright to the point of not knowing whether those creepy happenings were reality. When I was about to take off my shoes at the foyer, I saw that Yoshi's knee-high boots had already been taken off me. Knee-high boots, said he. Well, I guess they didn't show. Or maybe that black one down there at the bottom right. Now whose pink shoes are there? I'm not saying you can't own pink shoes. Pink shoes are fabulous. Yeah. She may surprisingly be well-to-do, I thought. But then it struck me that, come to think of it, we hadn't even properly introduced ourselves. Hey, it's belated, but I turned toward Yoishi and said, I go by Nagi online. My real name is Yamada Nagito. I'm a freshman at university this spring. She didn't turn around. She nodded and then said, I'm Yoishi. Isn't that a handle? Wrong. My surname is Mitsurugi. Not that it matters. Mitsurugi Yoishi. She continued being odd. She used her real name online, and then didn't care for a surname. That is 5. 5 was on the wall of the toilet. However, as if to say that it was a waste of time, she asked that, and so I pointed to the far end of the second floor. Yoishi silently went there. Without hesitating, she opened the door, turned on the light, and peered in. I quietly followed. Right? It looks like the letter 5, right? It's not a schema, right? I said to Yoshi's back. You know of words such as schema? She replied as if being condescending. Well, I mean, I am an occult maniac. That was a lie. It was information I just received. In a state where you've received a specific set of information, when you see a meaningless figure, your brain follows the information to create a suitable schematic. That is schema, in cognitive science, but this is without a doubt 5. Even I see it that way. Yoishi said, not caring for my words, as she traced her fingers along the engraving. Well, it wasn't like determining that it wasn't schema solved anything. If anything, it made things worse. If this was truly a deliberately written 5, then someone wrote that in this house, or rather, something, and that was in the house. 6 was near the bath. Having finished observing 5, Yoishi went across the hall to the bathroom with the toilet, turned on the light and opened the door. She placed her face right next to the symbol engraved into the windowsill. When I followed behind Yoishi, I smelled something odd. Truth be told, it's been bothering me since I met Yoishi, but now that I was in an enclosed space before, it become clear. Are you wearing some sort of perfume? Yoishi wordlessly shook her head. No, but you smell. And then I realized what that smell was. I smelled it in rooms during middle school, a sour, nose-curling smell, as if something was rotting. I totally understand this is a weird thing to ask a girl. I pinched my nose as I asked, when did you last take a bath? And then Yoishi turned around and looked at me quizzically. And then she looked at the ceiling. And when she seemed like she was searching through distant memories, I had a bad feeling. You have to think about it. I don't quite remember, but maybe last month. What the hell? Take a bath. A bath. This is a bathroom. That's not what I mean. Do you not take showers? Clean your hair. Clean your hair? What does that have to do with the numbers, with this number going down? Yoishi seemed completely bewildered as she asked me, but come on, I heard about dirty girls, and I know French royalty were famous for never taking a bath. Really? But this is contemporary Japan. Do high school girls that don't take a bath for a month exist? What you say lacks reason. She said flatly and then peered closely at the windowsill again. This is without a mistake 6. And then she turned around and asked how about 7. She really had no interest in anything other than the paranormal. I sighed and helplessly guided her. That was on the landing toward the 3rd floor. That was where the middle-aged man I didn't know was standing. During the suspected association game, wait, Yoishi had made me play earlier. I didn't want to follow her there, so I just gestured over there. Yoishi wordlessly climbed the stairs and then leaned toward the wall. That looks like 7 too, right? However, Yoishi didn't immediately answer. Instead, taking a mini light from her pocket, shined it at the letter 7 and looked all around. Is something wrong? This is certainly 7, but odd. What's odd? I was about to ask. Okay, suddenly Yoishi vomited. She didn't do anything cute like place a hand onto her mouth in an effort to hold it back, but rather standing tall with her arms folded, she boldly vomited, which definitely made me take a step back. Used to vomiting, that's how it seemed, and I completely saw it through. Dripping vomit. Sparkling intestinal fluid, and the remnants of the orange juice she had been drinking. What was with her? Doesn't take bath, takes vomits out in the open, and loves their cough, and wears coats during the spring, the psychotic girl. However, I finally noticed that the psychotic girl did seem to be struggling a bit. Hey, are you alright? I ran to her and began rubbing her back, and she powerfully nodded, then wiped her mouth. There was vomit on the landing, but she resumed conversing as if nothing had ever happened. I thought about it. I thought it was strange, since that when you wrote your post, I wonder why the countdown began from 7. Huh? Normally, countdowns start from 10, or 9. How should I know? I mean, ghosts are scary because you don't know what they're thinking. How would a human like me know why something like that began counting down from 7? Maybe 7 because 7 is a week? And didn't they say whoever met Yoishi dies within a week? Well, the paranormal have no rules, but the other side has intentions as befitting of the other side. Yoishi said as she climbed the stairs. I had no choice but to follow. As if to say there must be an 8 or a 9 and a 9 somewhere, Yoishi turned on the lights to the 3rd floor and began peering at the walls. Her posture as she crawled about on all fours, scampering along the walls, was both creepy and comical. Afterward, Yoishi began mumbling to herself and didn't respond to me, so I gave up and went back to the 2nd floor. I poured water from the sink next to the toilet into a bucket and threw a rag in. After all, this is my house, and while I couldn't forget the hollow face of the middle-aged man I saw at the family restaurant, I tried not to think about it. and cleaned up the vomit. Ugh, why does vomit smell so bad? Somehow it always entices you to vomit too. And it was irritating that the one who vomited seemed to not care at all, as if it was obvious that it would be my job to clean after her. How do you not eat? There's only liquid in this, I said with a bit of a nasty tone. But Yoishi, who come back down from the third floor, simply mumbled that there was no 8 or 9 anywhere. I snapped at her totally depressed reaction. I said there was none, but she ignored my comment and began looking at the walls on the second floor. Half exasperated, I watched over her as I went down to the second floor with the rag and bucket. And then I looked at the clock and asked her, "Hey, are you alright being out at this hour?" Oh, lightning. Now outside my house is raining with lightning. Of course, that was pretty belated given that it was almost 3 AM. If I were her parents, I'd be beside myself with anger. I hope you called home before coming out at this hour. I mean, I know it's my fault that this is happening, but parents are always worried. I always thought my parents were annoying when I was at home, but once you go away, you feel gracious. However, she wasn't listening to my lecture. I noticed that she was completely immobile, staring at a single point. "What is it?" I asked, but Yoishi didn't move. She stood still, frozen like a mannequin. I stood behind Yoishi and looked where she was looking. Yes? That was where Yoishi had vomited. And was exactly where the middle-aged man was standing in my imagination that I only knew about. Wait a second, who are you doing a staring match with? Where I placed a hand on her shoulder, she twitched as if a curse had been lifted. And then lightning strikes. And then she whispered ever so softly, "I see." When she turned around, her face was filled with joy. I could tell by the slight blush creeping into her pale face that she was excited. Okay. "Hey, did you notice?" "What?" But Yoishi didn't respond, instead turning on her heel and heading towards the foyer. Hey, wait. Let's get out." She quickly put on her deep black boots and then walked straight out the entrance. I hurriedly put on my sneakers and chased after her. I tried not to look inside as I turned off the light, closed the door, and remembered to lock it this time. I touched close by Yoishi as she staggered down the stairs. When we walked near where the motorcycle was parked inside the garage, Yoishi looked up at the building once more and said, "This building is very interesting. And lightning is going on. Wow." "What are you talking about?" "Under the stairs to the third floor, there's a meaningless space." That moment I felt a chill travel down my spine. I see. The eeriness that I felt all along about this house, I finally understood it. Indeed, it had always felt like something was odd about this house. And that was the area under the stairs which I could never reach. You couldn't enter the space under the stairs from either the outside or inside the house. Because you hear about places that don't open sometimes. This was similar in that we didn't know what was inside. And look at this. Yoishi pointed at the mailbox by the stairs. In front of the first floor, my full name was written on a piece of paper, the size of a business card, and 3 lines had been carved in, as if to overwrite my name. It was unmistakable. Okay, what's going on? 3! Yes! Brilliant! 3 has already counted down. It hasn't even been a day. It was just that night. It was 4 and then now it's 3. The countdown continued. Yoishi placed her face almost right onto the engravings and mumbled happily, "This place is real." But I said with a hollow voice, "I'm at my limit." Okay. 4. Alright, so this is the end of the chapter. I mean the end of this previous chapter, Flow, and now it's 4. Huh. Alright, but I think this is a good place to end it at the end of the chapter, so I can start back on my night recording session, so yeah. This is a horror visual novel, but so far it's been alright. Kind of. Oh well. Anyway, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at DMindGaming if you have enjoyed. And I hope to see you again in the next episode.